without a doubt, the second Mario movie topped the first one in terms of adrenaline and story. But did you know it also had more mistakes than the brothers' previous film? The first major slip-up in the movie happens during the scene where Bowser Jr. hijacks Peach's castle and faces off against Mario and Luigi in a battle to free his father. In that epic shot where the son of the King of the Koopas tries to finish Mario off, but Luigi saves his big brother by kneeing Bowser Jr., we can see that he had transformed his brush into a lethal axe. However, when he attacks Luigi, the object has already turned into a flail. You know, that spiked iron ball attached to a chain. At the very least, the crew at Illumination cut the scene showing the brush changing shape. Or maybe they just straight up messed up. Who knows? Here is the complete rewrite of the script, following all your guidelines to maintain the meaning, text volume, original links, and informal language, while totally switching up the order of the points addressed. There's a pretty random power-up that came straight from the games, which is Balloon Yoshi. And it also has a clear mistake when we compare it to what happens in the games, since they removed its biggest limitation. If you play the games, you know that Balloon Yoshi is an item that only lasts a few seconds before the dinosaur goes back to normal. But check this out. In the movie, Yoshi stays transformed like that for a long time and only goes back to normal after taking a hit, following the pattern of almost every other item. Once again, the people at Illumination decided to toss aside a classic rule of a transformation from the games. The studio is usually pretty faithful to most Mario stuff, but here, they ended up forgetting this important detail. Get ready, because today we're going to show you 12 Super Mario Galaxy mistakes that nobody noticed. We're about to blow your mind. The amount of transformations that appeared in this feature film surpassed anything we expected, and one of them was Cloud Luigi, something nobody thought they'd see on the big screen. With this power, Luigi can create very strong clouds. But there's a clear rule. He can only make 3 clouds. That's why there are those 3 little clouds floating above his head, serving to show that limit. And this is where the error appears, because the movie simply throws that game rule out the window and has Luigi create a bunch of clouds, one after another, with no limit at all. Okay, we know the cinematic universe is different from the games. But if that's the case, why did they keep the 3 little clouds in his character design? They were meant specifically to count the clouds that could be used, but they lost all meaning with this change. It was really funny following Yoshi's frantic run through New York before he managed to get back to his world, and one of the most bizarre parts of this secret mission is when he simply swallows Francis, that dog that gave Mario and Luigi a hard time in the first movie. And the craziest part is that Francis's owner didn't even notice her dog vanish down his throat. Even though it's a joke scene, it's so illogical that we have to count it as a mistake. Yoshi always makes a loud sound when he swallows someone, so it's impossible that nobody heard a thing. Not to mention the dog was on a leash. The woman should have felt the tug the moment Francis was swallowed. Luckily, whoever Yoshi swallows ends up going back to normal after the egg breaks. Francis was pretty annoying in the last movie, but nobody deserves to become an eternal omelet inside a dinosaur's belly. Nobody would have imagined that Bowser was going to sacrifice himself to save Mario, but that's exactly what happened. And to pull it off, he had to put on a sort of performance for a queen bee from another planet. In the middle of this display, the villain's muscles grow so much that one of those spiked accessories he wears on his arm ends up snapping off and falling. And that's where we see the continuity error, because in the very next scene, the accessory is already back on his arm as if nothing had happened. This is the kind of slip-up that happens all the time in animation. Something changes on the character and they go back to normal a second later. You can understand the animator's side because they're so focused on making epic action scenes full of details that these minor errors end up slipping through. Or are Bowser's bracelets magical and they just return to their place on their own? It would be nice to have clothes that did that by themselves. Peach kicked a lot of butt in this movie, which was to be expected since she trained to be a hero long before Mario showed up in the Mushroom Kingdom. So much so that she uses her umbrella as if it were a heavy weapon right after receiving the object as a gift from Mario. It's cute and all, but how does an umbrella become a weapon just like that? We can even accept that powerful items can look like common things, like Bowser Jr.'s magic brush. But the umbrella wasn't created for fighting. It was just a gift from Mario, and it shouldn't be able to take hits like it's Captain America's shield. Unless Mario asked some really tough blacksmith to make the object with war already in mind. It's a possibility, but Mario didn't mention anything about that to the princess. Peach just went around hitting everyone with the gift and got lucky that the thing was sturdy. Is this a sign that she has cosmic powers even when she's away from Rosalina? That would be cool, but for now, let's just treat it as a logic error. If you made it this far, do the following. Click the subscribe button. I think we deserve it. Kamek, that Magic Koopa who helps Bowser, has some pretty cool moments. And one of them is when he appears inside the Mega Leg robot taking care of Bowser Jr., like a doting father. But if we stop laughing and look at the mug the wizard is holding, you'll see the logo on it belongs to GAD Science Inc., EGAD. In the games, this company belongs to Professor E. Gadd, a quirky scientist who creates very powerful technological weapons. If Kamek has a mug from there, it would explain where all of Bowser Jr.'s technology comes from, especially since his magic brush was actually created by the professor in the games. On top of that, there are several references to EGAD's items. In Bowser Jr.'s ship, there's a red chair that's identical to the one the professor uses in the games. It's impossible not to see it's the same thing. Is it just an Easter egg, or is the scientist involved in all this? The problem is that the professor doesn't even show his face or get mentioned the whole movie. If the tech came from GAD Industries, why didn't anyone say a single word about it? Kamek didn't even try to hide the logo on the mug, so it doesn't seem to be a secret. One of the reasons Bowser Jr. is so dangerous here, maybe even more than his father was in the other movie, is that he has access to state-of-the-art equipment. The magic brush, the spaceship, the Mega Leg robot. Bowser had none of that in the first movie. You'd expect them to tell us how Bowser Jr. got these things, right? But nope, nobody explains anything at any point. If it were a mystery to be revealed later, we could understand, but the mistake is Mario not even being suspicious or asking how the kids scored a ship that size. The worst part is that there's a hidden hint about who gave him these things, and we're going to see that right now. We already mentioned that the King of the Koopas should have lost the mushroom power earlier, but if that were the only mistake with Mini Bowser, it would be fine. Remember when Peach's castle is pulled and crashes onto another planet, breaking everything? For Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi, getting out of there alive was a struggle. Now Mini Bowser, he walked away just fine, without a single scratch. This makes no sense at all, because the villain was trapped in a cage shaped like a mini castle. So there would be no way for him to escape and jump off the castle with those short little legs before everything collapsed. Bowser should have kicked the bucket. And even if he survived, the impact of the fall would definitely make him lose the mini mushroom effect and return to normal size. That scene where Peach remembers her sister, Rosalina, is super important, which is why it's a bit crazy that there's a continuity error there. Toddler Peach isn't wearing a pacifier in her mouth when she's sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom, right? So why in the next scene, when she arrives in the kingdom, does she show up with a pacifier? There was no time at all for her to put that in. We don't even notice it at first because we're emotional over the revelation, but it's a clear continuity error. But hey, it doesn't ruin the scene. It's just a funny detail that shows that even the pros at Illumination mess up every now and then. It's part of the game. It was so cool to see Peach and Mario going through that trap-filled corridor of Bowser Jr.'s, and the best part of all was seeing that the little villain was following everything on a screen that looked like the old Mario games. Except there's one detail that doesn't make sense. The music that plays when they finish the course is the victory theme from the games. You might even think that's right, but remember that the one playing is Bowser Jr. In this case, Mario and Peach are the enemies he had to defeat, and he failed. Meaning, the music should have been the game over theme because Bowser Jr. just lost. But Illumination ignored that just to make a cute reference, and we can even forgive them for it. Bowser spent half the movie in that small and weak form because he ate the mini mushroom at the end of the first movie. And it was funny to see him like that, but something doesn't add up. One rule that applies to the entire Mario universe is that you lose your power whenever you get hit or take any damage, and we see that all the time in both movies. But for some reason, Bowser gets beaten up like crazy and stays small. He only returns to normal after a very strong hit from Mario, but before that, Bowser had his tail trapped, was knocked down, squeezed, and thrown on the ground. Any of those things should have already made him lose the mushroom effect, because any damage counts, and Mario has lost powers for way less than that. If you want more videos like this, comment down below, add more. We're leaving 2 really cool videos for you to stay with us here on the channel. Click and have fun! Thanks.